So, four strategies for maintaining behavior in the classroom. The first being monitor student behavior and academic progress carefully. I've noticed in my time in school, and then even now in my classes and in my SI sessions, I'm the SI for music theory. Students may feel more comfortable and relaxed when they sit close to their friends. However, this may also cause them to pay less attention during class. Maybe this causes their grades to go down a little, maybe a lot. Throughout like my time as a student, I'm sure many other people's time as a student, I'm sure there have been times where you sit close to your friends and you're like, oh, this is so great. I get to sit by them in this class. And then, like, a couple days later, a teacher comes up with a new seating chart and you're far away from your friends and you're upset about it. And we just think, oh, she just doesn't, or he or she doesn't want me there just because I'm talking to them a lot, which is also true because you're probably being a distraction during class. And also, it could maybe even what we neglect to think about is it could be they've noticed that your grades started going down when you started sitting by your friend, and so they thought, well, maybe if I split them up, it'll help them focus more, pay attention more, and therefore help their grades go up some more. I've noticed that in my SI sessions, students seem to feel more comfortable and like relaxed when there's more people there, more of their friends there. But they do also seem to pay a little less attention. Not too bad. The kids I've had are actually really great, but they do seem to pay a little less attention when they're with some of their friends. Rules, procedures, and consequences are all established for a reason, and that is to maintain order in the classroom. In my SI sessions, I have a specific set of procedures for every session. If there's a warm-up on the board, students have to do the warm-up when they come in. I write the agenda for the session on the board before every session so they know what we're going over, what activities we're doing, they know what's expected of them during the session, and it just helps things run more smoothly. And there are rules established during SI, and as it is in any classroom, if you break the rules, you deal with the consequences. Luckily for me, I have not had to do this with anybody yet because all the kids I've had have been really, really awesome. But during the session, there is no doing homework. SI is meant specifically for help with homework. Like, I specifically reserve a portion of the session for homework questions. It's normally towards the end, but they're not allowed to just sit there and do their homework, because what we do in SI is go over the material that they learned in class so they can get better understanding of it, maybe find new ways of figuring, like, problem solving. Music theory is a lot of like problem solving. And if they're doing homework during the session, then other students might see them doing it and think, oh, that's a good idea. I'll just start doing my homework too. And then eventually everybody's going to do, and then what's the point of me being there at all? And then what's the point of even having the session at all? And they may not think it's distracting, but it's distracting. So if I catch them doing homework, the rule is I give them a couple warnings and then they're asked to leave if they still continue doing homework. And which really sucks for them because then they miss out on the information that's covered in the session. And so managing inappropriate behavior, that could also be an example of that. Like, they break the rules of no doing homework, they're asked to leave, you break the rules, you deal with the consequences. The faster you act upon inappropriate behavior, the sooner you make it known to other students that what that student was doing was not okay. Because if they see them doing the homework, they're all just going to start doing it. But the sooner you act upon it and they realize, oh, that's not okay, I shouldn't do that. Even if you even wait like the slightest bit too long, it's possible that multiple students are going to end up starting to do their homework, and then before you know it, you've got a whole bunch of students breaking the rules on your hands. Another thing I've done a lot in my sessions is wait time. Ask a question and wait until a student answers it. This usually helps with students who have been talking a lot. I've only had a couple instances of that happening. But once they're talking and I ask a question and then all of a sudden I'm silent and all the other students are silent and they're the only ones talking, then they normally shut it down real quick. I also try to stand closer to them when they're talking. So, for example, there's a left side of tables and then right side of tables. So if they're on the left side, I try to stand more toward the left of the classroom. If they're more towards the right, I try to stand more closer to the right side of the classroom. And I try to scan the room as much as I can when doing the wait time, but I try to tend to look at them specifically for a little bit longer so they know that I know that you didn't know what I just asked. For maintaining a positive climate to reinforce appropriate behavior, one thing I've tried in my sessions is acknowledging students who are doing well, like with what we're covering, and also maintaining appropriate behavior. I acknowledge them out loud as well, so that way students who hear it and think, okay, well, we're both doing well, we're both answering the questions correctly, but she chose to acknowledge them instead of me. Why is that? And maybe they'll eventually realize, oh, maybe it's because I'm talking too much, maybe it's because she knows I'm not paying attention. So that has helped a lot in the maintaining positive climate to reinforce behavior, because then I'm not stopping the session to get them to quiet down. I'm also boosting someone else's confidence while also showing that, I'm acknowledging them because they have good behavior as well.